Okay, we showed you already how the estimate could be created from the customer's own numbers. Now we're at the house, and at studs, as you can see, but we're going to measure the studs because in this case we might be doing cabinets also. If we're doing cabinets also, we'd like to know where the plumbing's at, where all the stud locations at. All we'll have to do is offset this for the thickness of the drywall, and in this particular case, won't have to come back to measure it again because it's going to be tile backsplashes in this particular case. Okay, first of all, we're going to hit each stud here as we go along as if it were a scribe job. Then we're going to show you in the editing stage how we will be able to straighten that out if we want to and show straight lines. Okay, but all along here, we will shoot these points. And then over here, you'll notice there's a drain pipe, and we're going to just hit a point on this and put a 2-inch or whatever the size pipe is, so we'll know where the drain's at. We can also put another one here where the sink drain's at. You notice down here there's 2 copper pipes coming up. We can hit 2 points here and indicate where the copper's at. If I was in the cabinet business, this would tell me where the sink needs to be in relation to the size of the base units, whether it's custom or stock. Moving around, this would be just each stud. Here's a gas main here for the stove, which would be here. That might want to be marked so you'd know that there might be a little counter piece here on the other side of the stove. Then moving along into here, this is what they alleged was their little counter area, and they want a radius on the outside of this. Okay, so we're going to shoot the inside of this and just eyeball, and it doesn't look very square. So this is where the importance of digitizing comes in. Okay, so I look around, and one of the biggest key things we want to know is where to put the laser. Okay, now in this case here, I would probably want to put it in this area here so I can see everything that I have to shoot. Let's suppose though that the customer on the other side of this wall here wanted to put a little shelf. Rather than moving the laser, we could actually put a piece of masking tape across these studs and hit points here and have a scribe line for that shelf on the other side. It's not what we're doing in this case, but just an option to show you what you can do. Okay? Alright, so let's set up the laser and we're going to show you how we shoot this thing. Okay, I've chosen this spot here for the laser because it allows me to see these insides of these walls, the front edges of these walls, the edge of that wall over there, and all of the studs all the way around the room, including this edge here and this edge there. That allows me to get all the end points, because you don't want to just hit studs and leave it open here. You want to hit an edge here. Now you'll notice over here, right here, I've installed these 2 little things, little pieces of plastic here, so when I come along this wall, I can hit 2 points on the other side of this. That will indicate the end of this run here. And the same thing over here. This is something you'll want to do. In this case, there's only 2 targets to set up for the whole job, so it's not very difficult. So let's start shooting. Okay, if you can see me over here, I'm going to hit 2 points on this stud to give me a little line. And in this case, we always want to start a new line when we come around a corner. You don't have to hit every stud. Now here we have 3 studs. This is the high one. I'm going to hit it. That's the one that's sticking out the farthest. That's where the drywall will be. Now, templating at this stage relies on the drywall people to obviously attach their drywall to tightly each stud. If you're really worried about the tightness of a scribe job and there is no splash, you may want to consider reshooting this job after, or not shoot it at all until the drywall's in. But the object here is to have the ability to sell cabinets as well as countertops in this case. This is obviously a remodel job. You'll see some adhesive and whatnot on there. Okay, here's another part where we have to put an ending line. So I start a new line and come around here and put 2 points on that wall. That's not a bad angle because my laser is still a round dot at that point. Okay, now I start a new line and come over here. You can't see this, but I'm going to hit 2 dots on the other side of this stud here to give me a point to fill it to a nice sharp corner so I know exactly where that's stopping. Don't forget, all the points I'm hitting here have to be offset for the thickness of the drywall. Now, you won't be able to see this, but I'm actually going to start a new line and put 2 points on that white target on the back. Same thing with this white target over here. 2 points. Then I start a new line, come over here, hit my 3 studs. You're going to see that this file is shows how bad stud walls can be. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is orient the drawing, and then we're going to show you how to do the plumbing. So I'm going to rotate the drawing on that wall. Okay, first of all, now we're going to switch the laser mode to a single point circle. That would be circle and then 1 point, and we've chosen, let's say, 3 inches for the drain pipe. Now if you notice over here, as I bring the laser over here, I'm going to shoot this right above the center of the pipe coming out of the wall for the drain. Okay, and now I'm going to change the circle from 3 inches to 1 inch to indicate where the 2 pipes are on the floor. If you look down on the floor, you'll see those 2 copper pipes. Now I'm going to hit approximation of where they're at so that we know exactly where that cabinet needs to be. Now again, over here, if you see me coming over this wall, I put a piece of masking tape on here, right here. That allows me, because I want to hit a point out here which doesn't exist. If this was drywall, you could hit that. But I'm going to move it over here to indicate where the gas main for the stove is. That'll tell us how big we have to make our cabinet below that. And again, I'll use the 1 inch line. Okay. That's it for the stud wall situation. Next, we're going to show you what would happen when this was drywall, but yet no cabinets.